A very good morning to each one of you. Thank you very much for joining on this very nice morning and to a very exclusive webinar. We welcome you all for this webinar on sustainability journey with Industry 4.0 Tech. The session is organized under the aegis of Industry 4.0 Expert Committee. We thank Mr. Sreekanta, Aradhya, who is the Global Head of Practice, Industry 4.0, Bosch Software and Digital Solutions, for accepting our invitation to address our members. Thank you very much, sir. The session is conceptualized by Mr. Chandramouli, who is known as the doyen of Industry 4.0 and who also chairs our Industry 4.0 Expert Committee. Thank you very much, sir. The committee is co-chaired by Mr. Jagannath, who is the COO of M2 Next, a BFW subsidiary. The chamber acknowledges the support of our member organizations, Messrs. Bueller, Continental, Fundermax, IAMPL, MTR, SD, MIMD, TVS Motors, Sona Group, Vishwas Group, and Wipro for their support for all the activities of the chamber annually. I would now hand over the platform to Mr. Chandramouli. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupa, for those kind words. And since record, I would like to mention that BCIC is not just a Bangalore-centric organization. It is beyond Bangalore, and BCIC is, as we call the triple B, Bangalore, Bharat and Bhuloka. And Bharat, we have opened many branches across Karnataka and across India. And we have opened even a branch or a desk in Japan. And they are coming down next week for a big meeting. And we're opening branches in Africa and other nations. So we truly Bharat and Bhuloka. So Bangalore is just a brand, and thank you, Rupa, for this kind introduction, to which we add the fourth B today, which is nothing but Bosch. Bosch, Mr. Sreekanta, Aradhya. Here, I would like to warmly welcome Mr. Sreekanta today. And he has been kind enough to accept this program. Within 2 weeks, I mentioned to him when we ran into each other in RV College of Bangalore on the other end of the town. And very quickly, he put together a program exclusively for BCIC. And as more people are joining, I would like to share a couple of thoughts from my side. Let me share the slide and then hand over the mic to Mr. Sreekanta, followed by we will have a Q&A session. So I'm just trying to see where my file is. I think I got hold of my file. Is it visible now, Sreekanta?
Not yet. Yeah, visible now.
Not it?
Yeah, it is visible.
It's coming now?
Yeah.
So slideshow. How do I do slideshow? Yeah. Okay, Sreekanta, everything visible, sir?
Yes.
Great. Welcome to all participants and more coming in. By the time I finish, I think all the 100 participants would have joined. Let us score 100 today. And I want to make a couple of remarks on the session itself. Sustainability. You know, many people, even including me, would like to raise the eyebrows when we talk about sustainability, which is a very laudable objective, which everybody talks in terms of global warming and stuff like that. Triple mantra is a very famous topic where we talk about protecting the planet. The only planet on which we live, we have to protect it. And profit cannot be the only motive to be protected. So you can only protect profit if you can protect the planet. This is a concept of sustainability. Sustaining is different from sustainability. Many people get mixed up between these 2 points. Sustaining is having a longevity or a sustenance or a resilience in the market, etc. But sustainability has got to do with the planet. But in this, the process of managing the planet and the profits is extremely important. Sreekanta will talk about many process related improvements. But how do we leverage the latest technology of Industry 4.0 and digital technologies to improve our process? And what is the focus of the process? In my view, the focus of the process is to how to minimize waste. There's no point in talking big jargons like AI and AR and IoT and all those things unless and until we can eliminate and minimize the waste in our organizations, be it a manufacturing organization, service organization, doesn't matter. All organizations got humongous waste. Now talking about the specific subject of today, I talk about two separate sectors of waste. There is a huge waste of energy, there is a huge waste of equipment. I am using the lean manufacturing jargon of waste. Why? Because waste is something we see every day in the society, every day in our organizations. And when we talk about energy waste, all of us talk in terms of waste in the generation. So we talk about fossil fuel, electrical vehicles, solar energy, non-conventional energy, and so many things. Only on the energy concern, on the generation front, we talk about. How sad it is that sustainability on the generation front, while it is very important, it is much more important on the consumption front. Because there is so much of waste. You generate 400,000 megawatts in this country. I am told only 200,000 megawatts reach the consumers, and of which 100,000 megawatt is wasted by the consumers. I'm just giving an order of magnitude. I may be totally wrong in terms of the data. This is a little older data, but I know for a fact out of a pie of 100%, 50% is transmission loss. And another 50% of the 50% is a consumption loss in the factories and all the areas of our society. So there is a huge waste on the consumption. And I'm sure Sreekanta has got many topics to talk about the waste monitoring, measurement and control. Monitoring, measurement and control, or rather measurement, monitoring and control in the area, and also improvement in the area of consumption at least, if not in generation. The second major waste in our society is equipment wastage. Lot of equipment is manufactured. We make them very smart. We say smart equipment, smart machinery, smart CNC, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, the utilization of the equipment is so abysmal. Making a very smart machine and having a downtime of 30%, 40%, 20% is very normally known in this industry. I have been in machine tool industry for the last 20 years. I know how much is the waste by looking at the overall equipment effectiveness. The global average is 65%. Indian average is 45%. Overall equipment effectiveness. So utilization is abysmal waste in this country as well as any other part of the world. When I was working for a German company, we had a concept of guarantee legally above 95% uptime guarantee. That means only 5% maximum downtime. Not in a single machine, but even in a system of serial machines or parallel serial machines. That means condition monitoring, measurement, monitoring and control, energy measurement, monitoring and control of equipment is extremely important in maximizing the utilization. I just put some pictures here in terms of sectors we are talking about and the machine tool, etc., but nothing to do with those brands. On that note, I welcome Mr. Sreekanta Aradhya, the Global Head of Practice of Industry 4.0, Bosch Software and Digital Solutions. He is the head of the whole thing, right? And he is externally looking into this problem. There are teams in Bosch who do for the Bosch factories. There are also leaders there, like Mr. Ananda and all. But Sreekanta is looking at the customer front, right? External customers. Internal customers, there is another team. I'm sure he is contributing to both. But the great thing about Sreekanta, I'm not reading all the bullets, you can read it, is he has also worked in automation industry. He is a very unique person who represents both the pillars of 4.0. Automation on the one hand and digitalization on the other hand. Why? He spent a long time as a head of application of Fanuc India. Robotics, yeah, robotics and application and CNC and whatnot. So I find this unique person combination, which many people don't have. Either they are automation experts or they are digital experts, and the combination of both is rare. He has worked in Infosys, and that's where probably he brought in the digital perspective from his side. He has worked in many global teams, international experience. He's been a regular speaker. Whenever any forum asks Sreekanta, please contribute to this, he never hesitates in spite of all his workload. You know, he come up and then contributes to the society in a very generic way without looking at any promotion of the brand called Bosch. As you all know, Bosch is a 98% trust. And I think the balance 2% also is owned by a CSR activity. It is not owned by any individual. Without much ado, these are the takeaways, as you all aware of, right? Carbon neutral organization, energy efficiencies using key 4.0 technologies, optimizing utilities. Utilities means not only the supply and distribution utilities from the electrical BESCOMs and ESCOMs, but also utilities as we know inside organizations like compressor, generator, etc. Condition monitoring, predictive analytics, practical case studies. Now, I think I just took some time so that more people joining. I humbly hand over the mic to Mr. Sreekanta, and I'll be one of the listeners today. And at the end of 45 minutes or so, we will start the question answer session. All of you, please start texting the questions with no interruption in between, so that we will take up all your questions without fail in the rest of the session. Thank you very much. Let me unshare and come back to the main slide. Somehow in MS Teams, when I share my slide, my face disappears. When my face comes up, my slide disappears. Very good. Thank you, Mr. Sreekanta. I hope in your case, both the face and the slide. That is Bosch. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chandramouli sir. Thank you very much for that very nice introduction to the subject. I think you might have covered at least 20% of what I was supposed to speak. Thanks for that. And thanks to the Bangalore Chambers of Industries and Commerce for providing me an opportunity to possibly talk about sustainability journey with I 4.0. Without much other things, I will just go through the agenda what I have planned for this session. Maybe there will be a few minutes of context setting and why sustainability is really a priority for corporates we'll discuss. And then since we are talking of sustainability and I come from Bosch, Bosch is a pioneer in sustainability. So what is our journey and what we have achieved till now? That's something which I will tell. And then how do we link Industry 4.0 with sustainability? What are the solutions which help you and what is the steps or the roadmaps you have to take? And finally, we will see some of the case studies or the practical use cases where sustainability has been implemented using Industry 4.0 tech. And I will end it with possibly one solution which we have developed, which takes care of sustainability in the holistic perspective called 𝙊𝙛𝙛𝙞𝙬𝙬. So that's the agenda. So to set a context, sustainability is an approach to sustaining the life and supporting our planet. And in case of corporate, we use a term called corporate sustainability that has got three pillars. One is environment, the other is governance, and third is society. So we will not be really focusing much on the governance and societal aspects of corporate sustainability. We will completely focus on the environmental sustainability and how this environmental sustainability helps to, one is add profits and also to sustain the life and to possibly take you on a carbon neutral journey. Now, since many of the people who have joined here are from corporates, why is sustainability such an important thing for corporates or manufacturing companies? One of the most important thing is customers these days are very eco-friendly. That means they would like to buy products from eco-friendly companies. They look at eco-friendly labels in the products. And I have shown a small graph where how the different age groups really get attracted towards eco-friendly companies. So if you look at the younger age groups is very much attracted. That means they more or less make it mandatory that they buy eco-friendly products. So looking ahead for the future, companies should go on this sustainable journey. Then only they will be able to build a better market for themselves. The second is about employees. Employees also in their daily lives use a lot of eco-friendly things, and a company will be able to attract talent if it's able to brand itself as eco-friendly or a sustainable company. And of course, in the corporate world, branding is very important, and a company which has got a very good environmental sustainability brand beats the other brands. So that's another reason why companies should look at sustainability. But the most important aspect is about resource efficiency. So a manufacturing company uses a lot of resources. I think Chandramouli sir was mentioning about equipments, machine, materials. So how do you really efficiently use them reduce your waste, and this will also add to your bottom line. And this is one of the key concepts which we are going to possibly cover in more detail as we go ahead. And the last part is more about the regulatory pressures, at least in the developed countries, Europe, US and all, there's a lot of regulatory pressure for companies to become carbon neutral or have zero carbon footprint within a particular time span. There's a lot of regulatory pressure. In India also it's going to come. If a company has to comply to such regulatory pressures, then actually it has to start working on the sustainability journey. And finally, there's a lot of talk of startups, investors for funds. These people also are looking at investing more on the sustainable companies. So if you look at all the ecosystem surrounding a company, whether it's employees, customers, investors, everybody is actually looking at a company going on a sustainable journey. So environmentally positive business have been found to be statistically performing better than companies which are not in that environmentally positive area. So having established the reasons or the drivers for a company to go into the sustainable journey, let us look at the ecosystem also. If you see the ecosystem, there is a lot of demands, drivers which are there in the ecosystem. One of them is the energy prices. Energy prices have taken really a big hit, or they have gone over the roof, especially in Europe due to war scenario. And generally, the energy prices keep on increasing. Recently, I think we all got a shock with our KB bills. So the more you consume, the more you are going to pay. So you have to see how you can reduce your energy consumption or optimize your energy consumption. How do you really do an energy saving? This works for individuals. Actually, this works for corporates also. And overall, as I was mentioning, there is right from the UN to the government, there is a renewed focus on climate change, because climate change has been real. I had seen a graph where at least from last 1 century, we have gone up at least around 2 degrees centigrades. And this causes a huge amount of weather change, climate change in all areas. We are seeing it. The summers in Bangalore were not so hot, at least 10 to 15 years back. Right now, they have become very hot. So climate change has become real. And if you have to preserve the life and protect this planet, we need to look at how do we really look at an environmental positive way of living and way of manufacturing. So now we have a few slides on what is Bosch journey in sustainability. The reason why I thought I will include this is since this was a forum where I would be actually advocating in terms of sustainability. I should be actually practiced some of my advocacy, then only I should advocate others. So what we have done. So Bosch has become carbon neutral from 2020 onwards. We were consuming around 3.3 megatons of carbon dioxide in 2018, but we have quickly become zero carbon dioxide or climate neutral. A company is declared as climate neutral when there is a net zero carbon footprint. That means the greenhouse gas emissions have been completely offset, either by reduction of the activities of this or by means of doing a carbon offset. So Bosch has achieved this around 2020, and this has been achieved not only in the Bosch headquarters in Germany, all the locations worldwide have achieved this. And this is the first industrial enterprise which has become carbon neutral much ahead of its target. And Bosch really invests a lot of money in terms of climate control or climate preservation and such things. And how did Bosch do this? We used 4 levers for this. One was, of course, increasing the energy efficiency. Second was a lot of energy which was coming by the normal route. We have now gone into the renewable energy route. And the third one is wherever we are unable to go with renewable energy route, we have also purchased electricity which is more green. And the fourth one is compensating carbon emissions through carbon offset. This is something which is available to corporates. That means you can fund some of the sustainability projects happening anywhere through possibly a very regulated third party. In India, I think IREDA, it gives you carbon offset. So you get a certificate for this much of investment you have done for a sustainability project, and for that you get an offset. So some amount of your whatever you are consuming, is offsetted with that. So this carbon offset is also one more way, but I think you cannot offset all your carbon print, but there is a limit for that, and that limit you can utilize. So these are the 4 levers which Bosch used to achieve carbon neutrality, out of which one main lever was the increasing energy efficiency. And this we did it with one of our sustainable platform, which we call it as deep sites, which we are going to discuss in more detail later. Increasing energy efficiency is one of the key important requirement in most of the industrial company, manufacturing companies today. Now that was more about Bosch and the world. Coming to India itself, in India, if you look at the corporate, Infosys has been the first company which has become carbon neutral. A lot of other companies like Reliance, Adani, TCS are also have declaring net zero targets and then year in which they achieve it. Of course, there's a growing consensus among corporates to go for a lower carbon footprint. Now, shifting to the government side, the Indian government is a major signatory in the Paris Agreement, and we have pledged to become net zero carbon emission by the year 2070. That's about the complete country. Current condition is that India is one of the 4th biggest emitter of greenhouse gas. That means we do contribute in a wrong way very highly, and so all of us should really think of how do we become more sustainable, and this is also from the corporate world and also from the we as people. Now we will look at having covered why sustainability is very important and what is the Bosch story and the Indian story. We look at how Industry 4.0 is linking with sustainability. Now, many of us already know that Industry 4.0, which is more of a 4th industrial revolution which is happening. It has started happening from the last 10 years. And this is a confluence of digital technologies, automation, communication, and data exchange in manufacturing. So there is 9 technologies which really form the bedrock of Industry 4.0. Including industrial internet, IoT, AR, VR, AI, ML, all these things. So these technologies will really help you to achieve many of your sustainable goals. How is that? The first one is if you want to really monitor a resource, you need to possibly connect to the resource, get the real-time data collection, analyze this resource. Resource could be a equipment or it could be an utility like water, energy, and such things. And then you have to identify the inefficiencies, where the wastage is happening, and try to improve this utilization of the resource. Normally we use a term called OE, which Chandramouli sir mentioned. This is more for the equipment side. Similarly, for each of the resource or the assets, it could be a compressor, it could be HVAC, there could be specific energy benchmarks. That means how much energy is consumed by this particular utility device for the per unit of output it gives. So you can establish the specific energy benchmarks for each of the resource and go on reducing this. Then that's about the resource and the utility. How do you make them more efficient? How do you reduce their wastage? Then manufacturing as a process, if you cover, you can also look at possibly bringing in technologies like proactive maintenance, predictive analytics, which will help you to optimize the entire production process and reduce your downtime. So this is also one more area where Industry 4.0 can contribute. And then we talk of circular economy. That means you produce a product and then possibly once you track this product through its entire life cycle journey, and maybe you either reuse the product or recycle the product. That means you break down the product and use it as a raw material again, or you continue reusing this product in various forms. So in order to track the product through its entire life cycle journey, you need to have possibly some amount of tracking mechanism, maybe an embedded sensor into it, or an embedded RFID or a barcode or a QR code through which you can completely track it. People these days track items which they are shipping to other companies. So this possibility of establishing or IoTization of a product also is an Industry 4.0 output. And the last and very direct thing, you actually can manage the energies of what you are consuming. You can look at possibly putting more of renewable energy sources like solar, water, biothermal, and such things. And you optimize the energy usage. You look at the various graphs, you look at how the demand is and how you are responding to it. So these are the 4 key areas where Industry 4.0 has a relevance to sustainability and helps a company on its sustainable journey. So in effect, basically what you are trying to do is you are trying to measure your possibly your emission or your energy consumption, and then trying to monitor it and how do you optimize it. That's how where the Industry 4.0 tech as applied to sustainability can be summed up as. And one important thing here is data, because data is the real fuel. Now, as you start acquiring various kinds of data, you need to be able to store them, manage the data, and analyze the data. So data is going to be a key component of your Industry 4.0 tech in sustainability. Now, let us look at areas in a manufacturing plant or an industry where there is aspect or where there is facility for you to digitize. One is, of course, in terms of your energy, water, gases, environmental compliance thing. But I also listed specific focus areas. One is energy management and optimization. So there is ISO standard, ISO 15001, which defines how do you manage your energy in your organization. And this also gives you various ways of managing energy. This could be possibly how do you look at the peak load consumed by your machine or your manufacturing line, and how do you take care of the peak loads. That means at that time you are having a peak energy consumption happening, and you also need to draw a lot of energy into your subsystem. And there is an idle load. That means when a machine is not working, when a machine is not cutting, or a machine is not performing, there is an idle machine. Many times, even when machine is idling, it starts consuming energy. So how do you really reduce this idle load? How do you identify that machine is idle, and how do you start reducing it? As I was also mentioning, every asset in your organization, it could be HVAC, compressors, possibly your motors, all these assets, you can establish a specific energy benchmarks and compare them with similar resources and progressively start reducing their energy consumption. Then that's all about energy. That's one very big focus area. Second is about water management, because water is also one important part of sustainability journey. So how do you source the water? How do you manage the water in your entire facility? How do you really provide water back to the earth? So these are all the areas of water management, and you need to sensorize all of them and possibly see how you can optimize them. Similar to water, in the industry, there is air, compressed air, which is used in many of the process. There is oil, which is used in some process, coolant and such things, and gas management. So this water, air, gas circuit, along with electrical energy, we call it as the wages circuit. So the complete utilities or the wages circuit has to be managed by your Industry 4.0 solution. In addition, you can look at your solar plant operation, because if you're already adding a renewable energy source into your manufacturing plant, you need to not only put a solar plant, but you need to see how you can monitor the solar plant output, how you can predict how much your solar plant is going to produce on a particular day. That is called as generation prediction. And based on this prediction, can I really optimize my solar plant efficiency? So that's about the solar plant operation. So wages circuit, renewable circuit, and your electrical energy circuit. All these circuits needs to be managed and optimized, which helps you to your sustainable journey. Now, that was the different areas, but how do you really look at progressively, how can you go higher in your sustainability journey? So we have put 5 steps for that. One is, of course, the most basic step, eliminating wastage. We talked of non-production days in your manufacturing plant, idling of your machines, even your power factors. I think if you refer to your physics classes, power factor is a very important constant, which actually alters the amount of energy you have consumed. So power factor can be tuned, and how do you tune it? So these are all comes under elimination of wastage. Then looking at the asset and how do you increase the asset efficiency? That should be your second step. So once you remove your wastage, then look at the asset and how can you make the asset more efficient. So asset is more of a point intervention. That means asset can be one machine, one HVAC, one compressor and such things. But then the assets together, or maybe your manufacturing line together, also needs to be managed. So your complete process and the operation, what you do in the process, like cycle time, your ramping up and down strategies, whenever you get a load or whenever you get a more demand, how do you ramp up? Because each of them have a correlation to the amount of energy you are consuming. And then you can also think of optimizing your manufacturing or production plan, because there could be possibly specific machine allocated, where a machine which is consuming less energy can be used more than a machine which consumes more energy. And similarly, optimal changeover, because whenever you are doing a changeover from one particular part to the next particular part, then there is a downtime. So if you can optimize this changeover time, then your downtime gets reduced and your effective utilization of the resource becomes better. And after these 4 steps, you can look at prediction. Basically, this is where the artificial intelligence thing comes up. The prediction can give you a lot of use cases. One is, of course, the demand prediction. That means how can I predict what could be my next 24 hours of energy requirement by this particular plant or this particular unit. And similarly, if you have a renewable solar energy plant, you can also forecast what is the yield of that plant. That means for a particular day, how much it can really produce. This based on the historical analysis, you can actually predict the yield. Peak power management. So these are all requires a good amount of historical data and a good amount of data analytical capability, so that you can start predicting, and this prediction will help you in terms of improving your energy efficiency. Now we have looked at the areas in a manufacturing plant which can really be focused, and what are the steps in which you have to go so that your sustainable journey becomes more smooth and gives you more success. To do all these things, you naturally require a solution. So now there are a lot of various kinds of solutions, Industry 4.0 solutions available in the ecosystem. Possibly, if you look at the business impact on the y-axis and the complexity of a solution on the x-axis, there are solutions which give data acquisition. That means you basically connect to a particular asset or to a particular utility and start monitoring it. That means you basically acquire data from the device. Acquisition of data from an asset is not simple as it is made out, because each of the asset comes with its own protocols, with its own, especially if you go for legacy assets, many of these assets would not be even sharing the data. So in order to get how much an asset is actually consuming, or what is the temperature of something, or what is the pressure of something, you need to really have a solution which can give you out-of-box libraries to acquire the data. And once you acquire the data, there are solutions only for data acquisition. Similarly, there are digital solutions which do an offline analytics. That means I observe the historical data of possibly a temperature or a pressure, and I can tell that, okay, this is what is the current or the diagnosis part of it. So this offline improvements also some solutions will offer. Maybe the complexity is slightly higher than just data acquisition. Then you have solutions like building management systems or SCADA, which give, maybe you can set up a particular logic. That means maybe if the consumption exceeds a certain threshold, step off or step down something. So this is a fixed logic based controller. And finally, you can go out in artificial intelligence, where the system can learn based on the data which it is coming, predict, and also look at getting trained and evolve itself. So they are the pinnacle of these solutions which are managing the sustainability. We have one such solutions which I mentioned as DeepSights. So looking at the same thing, but possibly in a different canvas. So at the bottom, you see the different circuits in a manufacturing plant, from which you have to acquire data. How much is energy being consumed, or the data could be process related data in terms of temperature, in terms of flow, in terms of possibly the humidity and such things. So as I was mentioning, the wages circuit, that is water, air, gas, electrical and solar, or energy and solar. So you need to establish for each of them. For water, you need to have a separate circuit, because the process of connecting to the water circuit is different from the way you connect to an air circuit or industrial gas circuit. And then the solution also should be able to provide you 4 C's, we call it. One is, of course, the connect layer, where the solution can connect to an industrial sensor. It can connect to a standard protocol. It can connect to a building management system. And it's always good that this Industry 4.0 technology has an edge capability. Edge means you have a computing system very near to the asset itself, so that whenever the asset thresholds change, for example, maybe the temperature has gone up beyond a certain limit, then immediately a corrective action can be taken up near the edge itself, near the asset itself. Because many times you need not send the entire data to the solution which is on cloud and do the correction, because by that time a lot of latency will come into picture. So then you will have to think of solutions like condition monitoring. That means for a particular condition, you monitor the condition and take actions on that. There can also be solutions which can give you alerts, possibly an escalation based alerts, where it can go to the particular asset in charge or to his supervisor, so that immediate actions can be taken. And finally, the Industry 4.0 solution should be able to provide you energy performance indicators in a variety of dashboards. It also needs to provide you an utility key performance indicators. If it's solar, the key performance indicators will be different. And at the end, you should have certain use cases, for example, forecasting, for anomaly detection, for leakage detection, for water balance. So these are all specific use cases which requires you to build specific machine models and apply it on the solution. So a holistic Industry 4.0 technology or a solution which can cater to all these 4 C layers, that is connect, collect, consume, and cognitive, will help you on your sustainability journey. So whenever you are looking at possibly managing your energy, managing your utilities, you should look at a solution which can give you all these flexibilities or facilities. As I was mentioning, a similar kind of solution we have utilized in most of our Bosch India plants, and we are able to see specific alerts, specific reports. We also are able to establish KPIs, for example, what is the energy produced per part of production, variant specific kilowatt hours per part, HVAC optimization, all these things. So once we are able to do this with an entire full stack solution, the outcomes what we have got, we are able to save at least 10 to 12% of energy per annum. We have also saved more than 8,000 plus tons of CO2. And we also get an integrated view of all the sites. That means whatever solution we are utilizing, you can actually log into different plants and benchmark the energy performance of one plant against the other. So these are kind of dashboards we look at, which you also can see once you have your own solution. So you can look at what is the water balance, how much water is getting recharged, what is the trend of your energy consumption. And you can also look at the demand supply curve. And this demand supply curve also you can look at, you can predict the demand, predict how much is going to my energy consumption demand in the next 1 day or so. And you can also look at where is your energy loss happening, possibly from the supplied energy to what is metered, what is the energy loss you are going to. So you need to have such dashboards whereby you will be able to monitor your different KPIs and your energy management requirements. Now let us look at specific case studies, and I'm going to focus on these case studies more from the 5 steps which I talked of, that is preventing the wastage, improving the asset efficiency, looking at having a condition monitoring or a AI kind of ML kind of solutions. So possibly some of those case studies will individually relate to them. The first one I will look at is more from the wastage reduction. One typical case study which we have done or which we have done in our plants is idle energy detection. So now there are 2 graphs here. So this is the power consumption graph of a particular machine over a particular day. Now, as you can see, there are peaks in the energy consumption or the power consumption, and there are troughs in the power consumption. And we have put a filter on top of it. And of course, the trough part of it is where the machine is actually idling. That means the machine is not producing, but still it is consuming a significant amount of power. So if you are able to monitors the machine based on whatever solution you will have and get such graphs which can give you the power consumption versus time and establish filters on top of them, then you can find out how much is our average idle energy consumed in a particular day for a particular asset, and then look at possible mechanisms to reduce this idle energy. So one very easy way out is possibly if the machine is idling for more than a specific amount of time. In our case, we have taken around 6 to 10 minutes time of a machine. If it's idling, we are going to shut down that machine. That means we are going to switch off the power for that machine. Or the other way out is if it's idling within that particular band of time, then you can also look at possibly putting it on an emergency stop or putting it on a condition whereby the idle energy is reduced than whatever it is currently consuming. So this is what we have done in many of our machines, and this works very well for CNC machines, heaters, auxiliary loads, and we have actually done a patent on this, and we have got very good energy reduction because we are able to identify the idle energy and reduce the idle energy. So as you can see here, an idle energy for a particular machine which was at 63 kilowatts was reduced to 0.7 kilowatts. So auto cutting off. So the result is this: we are able to save an energy of 90,000 kilowatt hour, which is an equivalent of 76.5 tons. So like this, a savings at a scale can also be obtained. Next case study, possibly we will look at more of an AI kind of case study. This is a clean room environment where we manufacture. This especially for some sensitive parts, we do a clean room where the temperature and humidity of the room needs to be controlled. And of course, there is a HVAC system which controls this. But if you can see that graph what I have put before we possibly intruded and put our Industry 4.0 solution. If you see the rise of temperatures, or the actual thing we are controlling is the temperature and humidity. So because there is normally a VFD which is operating, so this VFD is not a controlled VFD. So there suddenly, if let us say there is a furnace which operates nearby, then there is a rapid rise of temperature in the room, and this is not controlled. So what we did is we observed this temperature pattern and the humidity pattern, and built up a machine learning model which is able to identify this peak of temperature rise due to whatever external inputs and control the temperature rise by controlling the VFD itself. So this gave us at least around 16% energy reduction, and this particular intervention we got a payback within 1 year. Many times customers do approach us asking for a solution which gives them a return of investment, because at least Indian customers are very clear about return of investment. Paisa kidhar hai, that's the motto of them. So if you are investing on such solutions, your payback will come from the solution itself. So whatever you get after 1 year is actually your profits. So you can look at such intervention solutions in Industry 4.0, looking at AI, ML or any other thing, which can help you in terms of cutting down your energy. But even of course, in this present case, the clean room environment was effectively maintained. That means the average temperature band, average humidity band were all within limits. Similar AI model, we have put it on a cooling tower circuit in our factories, where the cooling fans, the pumps, the VFDs, all these things have got ML models. We have actually created a repository of asset-specific machine learning models, so that if you bring an asset like an HVAC or a compressor of a particular make, we have an asset model ready available, and we will be able to tell that this particular asset can be optimized, and this is the amount of energy saving we can provide. Also, since we are also looking at not only energy consumption, not only wastage reduction, but we're also looking at resource efficiency. That means how best you can manage your resources. Here is one case, once again from our own Bosch plant, where this is a grinding machine, where the grinding tool, which is quite expensive, the grinding tool itself was costing 1 lakh. This used to be replenished at a fixed interval of time. That means whenever you have used it more than a specific number of hours, it could be possibly 3 months or it could be possibly 1 month or so, this grinding wheel is to be replaced. But many times, even though you are going on a fixed interval, it doesn't mean that the grinding wheel has really got spoiled. Maybe the usage might have been less or something like that. So what we did is we created an asset health model. This is best for this particular grinding wheel. We created a health model. We used vibration data. That means whenever the grinding wheel is getting more worn out, the vibration data will frequencies will normally increase. So you collect this vibration data, compare with this with the asset health model, and then you can actually predict the remaining useful life of this particular grinding wheel. So I can tell that possibly based on the current signature of the vibration what I'm getting from the grinding wheel, I can tell that maybe it is available to be used maybe for next 1 week or next 10 weeks. So this helps you in one is spare management. Second is effectively utilizing the resource very well. Now this gave us a huge saving. There was at least a 20% reduction in the yearly tool cost. And second is there was an improvement in productivity. Many times the grinding wheel would have been overused, and because of which the grinding wheel would break, and replacing a grinding wheel after it breaks will lead to a downtime and a production loss. So in case of remaining useful life prediction, you don't need to really wait for the grinding wheel's end life. You can predict when it's going to end, be ready and replace it. So the resource is effectively utilized. Your grinding tool costs have come down, your productivity has gone up. So this is one of the very good case studies for a remaining useful life model development using an artificial intelligence or ML kind of concept. Previous things were more focused on process or the manufacturing what we do, or the case studies in terms of specific case studies for specific use cases. We have also been able to make our buildings or the campuses smart. We have networked the complete energy, water, the solar, the cooling, all these things in our campus in Adugodi, and we have made it completely smart. This gives us real-time visibility. There is a great energy savings. There is an active water balancing. That means how much ever water we consume, we try to replenish it also, so that the planet or the water table is preserved. So the same Industry 4.0 technologies which we have been utilizing on the manufacturing setup, we have also been able to extend it and use it for a building management or facility management kind of concept. So till now we looked at specific case studies giving you sustainability improvements through possibly one of our solutions, but then similar solutions are available and you can look at using them, utilizing them. And the technology current days is quite rampant, and there are a lot of good use cases coming up, and these are all been tried and tested cases. There is nothing new in the thing. Now, all the case studies what I mentioned was with respect to what we have done internally, but we have done similar solutions to companies outside India, to external companies. It could be aluminum companies, it could be textile manufacturers. So this sustainability journey is not specific to any manufacturer. It is across the domain, and it helps in a huge amount of energy and carbon dioxide saving. This is the solution which I was talking of, called as DeepSight, which is a full stack solution. It encompasses all the 4C layers, right from collect, cognitive, consume, everything. It has got a built-in library of asset models, and it helps you to drive your sustainability journey. It's also TV certified. So the reports, whatever is coming out of such a solution, will help you for energy auditing and energy management. So that was my presentation, more in terms of the sustainability journey, what we have undertaken, the case studies, and possibly steps which can help you in your sustainability journey.
Okay. Mr. Sreekanta.
Yes, sir.
Like your topic, energy efficiency, you are also so efficient. Instead of 45 minutes given to you, you finished in 40 minutes. Fantastic, man. Yeah, and there is so much of content. that can be delivered in 40 minutes is a true role model that I have seen today. And let me open up with my own questions, warm-up questions. And I can also see some text box questions, and then more text box questions can come up. So up to 12:30, we can have a productive conversation. The number one thing I want to ask you, which is written in one of your PowerPoint slide, is you have mentioned cross-functional operational excellence. Can you slightly elaborate this? Even I am curious to know why you put that as a byline in that slide. Cross-functional operational excellence, 4th or 5th slide, I think. That is my question number. Cross-functional operational excellence, you have written under one. That is one question. Second question, I leave, since the question I leave, finish it off. Vis-a-vis wages, water, air, etc., versus inside factory equipment. In a typical factory, will wages contribute higher potential to save, or factory equipment higher potential to save? In a typical factory, let's say a OEM factory like Tata Motor, Toyota, TVS Motor, etc. OEM, I'm defining as large companies. Wages versus factory equipment. What would we say that energy efficiency model? What percentage in wages and what percentage in the inside the factory?
Okay.
There is one more question. I'll come at the end after the audience questions.
So you seem to be in a quizzing mode today.
No. We do the warm up so that the audience also have time to think and put down their questions on the text box. I'm asking only on their behalf.
Okay. The first question, the cross-functional operational experience, excellence.
Written in your slide.
Yeah, because the sustainability journey is not specific to a particular silo of function. Many times in many of our industry 4.0 solutions, there will be possibly, let us say I do a predictive maintenance kind of solution on a machine. It's a maintenance department which will be interested. Or let us say I do a quality improvement solution. It's a quality department which is interested. Whereas sustainability is across board, across all the functions. And every function needs to contribute for that. So, for example, let us say I have a wages circuit, which is completely under the facilities domain. I talked of a resource efficiency in terms of improving the lifetime of a grinding wheel. That is more from a predictive maintenance or a maintenance kind of or a production kind of functionality. I also talked of solar energy, which is a renewable people or the people who are actually procuring the energy for your company. So an entire cross-functional team should be made to go on a sustainable journey of a company. Because normally whenever we look at a carbon neutrality journey, we try to audit the company in terms of what is their current carbon footprint. So this current carbon footprint is not specific to any particular function, it is across the company. So it is as simple as somebody taking a travel and utilizing aircraft, to as complex as a furnace utilizing energy and emitting gases. So every function contributes for the carbon footprint of a company, and hence in a sustainability journey, the cross-functionally every team should be involved in order to go into the excellence.
Excellent, thank you. The second question was about wages versus inside factory equipment. Where is the more low-hanging fruit if we are to adopt these solutions?
Okay. Possibly I will give one constraint for this. Many a times what happens is it also depends on the maturity of an organization. We have seen organizations where there are electrical energy meters put on the production line or put on each machine, and people are monitoring the energy consumed by a machine and trying to take some corrective actions. And there are companies where nothing is put, you don't even know how much energy a machine is consuming as long as the machine produces a part. So the maturity cycle is at different stages.
To clarify that, I'm referring to a greenfield venture. If somebody is designing a factory and starting tomorrow.
Okay.
With no efforts put already in energy monitoring.
Okay. Yeah, so that also depends on the energy guzzlers in your greenfield plant. For example, let us say I am in an aluminum plant, then naturally your manufacturing or the furnace will be a huge energy saving for you if you really optimize it and work with it. But let us take an example of a normal machine shop or a manufacturing plant. in a normal manufacturing plant, in our experience, the wages circuit contributes much higher than the machines.
60%. Wages will be 60-70%.
60%, at least 60%. And there is greater leeway for you to save in wages circuit because most of the you talked of greenfield, but if you see brownfield, most of those HVACs, compressors, motors, and that circuit is really not working optimized. We have seen where the set points are bad. So it's running in an unoptimized way. So there is a greater possibility of you saving energy on the facilities or in the utility sector. But that is about direct energy saving. But if you are looking at resource efficiency, your productivity improvement and such things, manufacturing also adds.
So what you're saying, to summarize for benefit of all, when there is a forging, foundry, furnace and all those things, painting and all inside, then the percentage may be more inside the factory. When there is only machining, assembly kind of thing, the percentage may be more on the utility side. Very good. Sir. Now I have read out a question. Thank you for that explanation. From none other than our Senior Vice President, BCIC, and our future President, Dr. Devarajan. His face is appeared now. Go ahead, sir. You can ask the question yourself, sir.
Good afternoon.
I think, first of all, Sreekant, very good presentation. I joined a little bit late, but I didn't want to miss this opportunity to understand application of IoT, AI/ML in the sustainability area. One thing is a lot of good presentation made. Thank you very much. And you are the leader in this. Is this module developed by you, especially
Yes.
on especially of HVAC and other areas? Because even in our company, we have a lot of data which is getting captured, and we try to use it for. And I want to understand whether you're done for the spindle vibration, motor vibration too in that area.
Yes. So thanks for the question, Mr. Devarajan. Yes, this complete TA models we have developed ourselves. This solution or the platform what we have built, which we call it as Deep Sites, is the platform which is used not only in India, even by our plants outside the country also. And the AI models we only build because this is based on our experience in utilizing the model, because no model is perfect when it is built on the first day. It will not be accurate. So you need to really try it out, relearn, then retune the model. So we do it. And more or less right now we have got around 50 plus asset models library developed. So you normally when we go for our external customers, we do a due diligence kind of thing where we look at all his utility circuits and his high guzzler areas. And we tell him that, and we see his electricity bill also. And we tell him that possibly if you employ these asset models, your savings will come down by this much amount. And we have gone to the extent to challenge ourselves to take projects on an outcome-based model. That means we tell him today your bill is maybe 1 million. I will bring it down to 0.75 or 0.6. So the savings, once I show you the savings, you pay me. So we also take up that business model. So this is basically as a confidence on our models.
Outstanding. And one more point is we started using this for water monitoring. Every areas of water monitoring and give a feedback onto the areas of work. Suppose you are a welding machine area or painting area, we are seeing the consumption. I hope you have done the similar examples. Have you extended? We are trying to do that. We are finding it difficult. Have you extended to any of your key suppliers? Point number one. Second thing is either a small module where you can prepare. And we can bring all our SMEs from BCIC, and because this is a journey, we have to push this sustainability and all these enablers like AI, ML are enablers for sustainability. So there's no point measuring the result. We have to make how to improve the activities. Then only the result will come. Just monitoring the OEE doesn't make anything. We have to go in for improving the number of changeovers, many things of losses. I think Bosch is a very big example, and we are very proud that you're presenting this today. Is it possible for you to guide our SMEs of Bangalore Chamber of Commerce, and we link with IoT team to some of the small SMEs? And today, many of the SMEs are doing many of the aerospace components also. So apart from the quality, productivity, sustainability is, I think, the very key point which you have taken. Your views, please.
Thanks for that, Mr. Devarajan. Yes, we can definitely support maybe a small module for your SMEs.
Yeah.
And personally, also, I would like to invite maybe a few of your BCIC members to our. We have now done a smart campus where we have done the entire water circuit itself. We have been able to monitor it and also measure how much of water is actually we are using as against the norms, and how do we improve the groundwater table also. Possibly we can take you through that, and for your small and medium customers, how best they can go on their journey, because I stopped the 5 steps of journey. So maybe we can look at their maturity levels, how they can take little steps so that it gives them return of investment and it also makes them more sustainable. We can do that. Possibly I request to you and Mr. Chandramouli.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Let us have a second discussion and we can.
One more request, Chandramouli, one more request. Sorry, I'll take one more point.
You are the man.
You are the man. This sustainability is a very key area, Sreekant. So we have a 𝙊𝙛𝙛𝙚𝙘𝙚 magazine which is being brought up by our team every 15 days.
Okay.
So I request a few articles from your side too, and I'll ask Sir to contact you so that it will be a journey where communication, sharing, and make enabler for all our team members. Yeah, I request your help in that.
Excellent idea.
Sure, sir. Thank you for that.
So we have many asks from the future president of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, which is, I said to Sreekant and the audience, it is Bangalore, beyond Bangalore. It includes Bharat and it includes Bhuloka, and also it includes Bosch, I said.
Bosch, yeah.
So therefore, the 4 B's of energy and synergy. 𝙊𝙾𝙾 is a kind of an oxymoron because it has got energy and it has got the E. So articles are welcome, and people like Sreekant can bring in a lot of motivation. On that note, I want to add a point called, if you can make miniature laboratories. Mr. Sreekant, from your skill building division, you have another division for skill building. Dr. Goyal and all, I don't know, he's retired, but there you create miniature laboratories. It takes some time to create this lab. In that, the wages, see, machine, many people have done. Many people have done on the machine side. CNC machine, legacy machine.
Absolutely.
We have flogged the horse 1,000 times. Machine tool industry also a little mature on it. But the wages side, how to monitor these things, which will also be useful for process industry, such as pharma, food and beverage, petrochemical, etc. They also behave like wages. Because their inside activity is 10%. 90% is all about the way petrochemical complex. What is inside? Inside is same as outside. So you can imagine a petrochemical complex. There is nothing outside. It's all inside. But inside is outside. Anyway, it's like a Nityananda statement. Anyway, the point is, so we make laboratories, skill building laboratories, which are on a commercial basis for educational institutions. I'm using 2 words, commercial basis, educational institutions. So Sreekant got the idea. And how do we take it forward? I met your managing director, Mr. Ramesh, at Bosch Rexroth in Ahmedabad only 2 weeks ago. What a visionary. He says all this we will spread across the country. So this is because Bosch Rexroth also is very focused on skill building. Absolutely. So that is one ask. And Mr. Kapil Sharma, I think he's not the comedian. He has written. He's not the comedian. Yeah, Mr. Kapil Sharma, which company? I don't know. He has written that same question which Devarajan asked. I wanted to ask the same question. How do we bring these solutions on affordable equation to MSME? Definition of MSME could be tier 1 companies like Anand Group, Sona, and Lucas TVS, etc. Tier 2 companies. Tier 3 is also a big challenge because, and now sometimes they get 200 units free of cost, but it is not available for industry. Anyway, that's in some states. Regardless of that, energy is a big topic for government also. So therefore, the job shops and tier 3 companies suffer the maximum on the power consumption. Imagine a foundry based tier 3 company, right? Forging tier 3 company, right? and painting trade. There are painting companies which do nothing other than painting. There are heat treatment companies in Pina which do nothing other than heat treatment. Everybody dumps them, get it done, and they go back outsourced. Because that energy trouble people don't want to have in-house. They give it to heat treatment company. But heat treatment company may be losing huge money. I know there are some MSMEs today in the audience. I hope Kapil Sharma is spreading the message. The point is, how do we get these point solutions? Simple point solutions to optimize condition monitoring or advanced ML-based solution, whatever it is. Affordability, Sreekant, is the key. You can address that later on, but I just want to park that question in your mind.
Possibly I can answer one or two
please.
points.
You can answer and commit today of the affordability. There are 32 people who can sign up with Bosch also. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
If you take our solution, for example, maybe since we are owners of the solution, I can talk it in a more easier way. We have purposefully went on cloud on this solution. So there is not much of IT infra which you need to spend to have this solution. The solution is available on our cloud. We can give you possibly a subscription thing. You can also look at, let us say you have a heat treatment company. The amount of sensorization required could be minimal in that. There could be a PLC which is running your furnace. You can directly connect to the PLC and take the data. You start monitoring your energy and start understanding what is your energy consumption. You realize that you have great savings to offer even for an MSME. He can get the returns of investment for whatever he has invested on the solution very quickly. We can do it possibly if you give us 5 or 10 MSME use cases. We can go visit them, look at their factory and tell them that possibly you do this, you will get so much of savings to whatever investment you are doing. Because at the end of the day, for any MSME, it is ROI and money which is mattering. So
then I will do one thing. I will ask Mr. Kapil Sharma to open his video if it is approved by BCIC, because he made a very good point. His company is Nippon Oil Pump. And he wants a technology to percolate to MSME. If he can become the case study for you, and if he can open up with a factory for you to your team to visit, Nippon Oil Pump, is it already your customer?
Nippon Oil Pump is not our customer, but I think Kapil Sharma I know very well because I think he was in FANUC, he was my earlier colleague. Is that the same Kapil who is there?
He can come on the video. If Rupa, I think they are blocked. As a BCIC office bearers of
he's
are
telling
still
yes,
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's our old
Sreekant is confirming that he is a FANUC man. So you can connect with him. And Nippon Oil Pump case study, a successful case study of Nippon Oil Pump next
Nippon
year.
Oil Pump is not a MSME. They are quite huge. They are a Japanese-based company.
And in India.
Okay.
See, they make only oil pump. They don't make cars and trucks. So let us give them the credit.
Sure.
So
absolutely fine. We can
the
take
point is, 1 year from now, can we take up such company like Nippon Oil Pump to conduct a webinar on the BCIC platform as a successful MSME case study on energy saving and condition monitoring? Nippon Oil Pump, Kapil Sharma is listening to us.
Sure, we can do that. I'm also
Sreekant Arya, Bosch will do the needful. Another question coming from, I don't know, Mr. Suresh. Which company, sir? You can type there. He says, there is, as I said in the beginning, you are all concentrating on consumption. What about distribution and transmission losses? Can Bosch do something in this area?
See, the distribution and transmission losses also can be possibly monitored and looked at. Actually, I showed a dashboard.
Mr. Suresh is from Sona Group, very big tier 1 group.
Yeah.
Each company is MSME, but overall it is not MSME. It's big. Yeah.
So in case of, I think the question is also very specific. Has Bosch done something on the transmission losses and distribution losses? So if you see our solution, it's not only in terms of consumption, we're also looking at the power transmission and distribution inside a manufacturing plant itself. We also measure the losses and also track them. I think I showed a dashboard in my slide where how much was the energy being taken from the grid and how much was getting lost and how much was actually being used was also shown in the thing. So yes, we have done it and we can also provide it to our customers.
One is monitoring. Another is how to optimize it and improve it. That is the bigger challenge.
Yes.
See, one is from the 11 kVA down to the 440 kVA. Another is 440 kVA to the 220 kVA, etc., etc. Each stage, if you have a stage control to measure it first and then monitor it and then control it, then the whole case study is complete. Maybe next year this case study can be presented on behalf of Sona Group. If Sona Group can contact BCIC and Sreekanta, we will connect you to look into the subject of transmission losses within your plant from the HT transformer to the point of consumption.
Possibly, I will. You can send across my email to the people who are really interested.
Can you type on the? You can type on the text box. I have no problem.
Okay.
You can type on the text box. Then, while you are typing, I have my last question. Can you work with machine tool industry, which you may be doing already, at the OEM machine tool companies? There are 4 companies in this country, big ones, for making energy efficient machines. I will tell you, I come from these 2 large companies, Japanese and German. I worked. There is a fantastic energy efficiency case study was done by the Germans, where 12,000 euro was saved per annum, and it is proved to the customer also by a simple concept of drawing the energy from the spindle motor whenever it is getting broke, the braking, and storing in capacitance and utilizing for multiple functions while the machine is getting shut down. This is a concept, but no IoT in this. But now you superimpose IoT in such projects, you can create a smart enabled energy efficient machine. See, this can be only done by large companies like Bosch, Siemens, etc. That's a third low hanging fruit, in my opinion, which you have to look at, because going and doing it hundreds of MSMEs, thousands of MSMEs, 10,000s of SMEs, and 1 lakh of MEs, etc., etc., is humanly impossible for a company like Bosch. And you don't have system integrators who can multiply this experience of yours. So you have to address to at least the future machines coming in. The past machines have to be done by another dealerized system, which we will discuss offline. Now coming to, therefore now it is 12:20. I'm not seeing any more questions, but people can raise the hand. There is a hand in the toolbox if they want to ask any more. Sreekanta Aradhya has already posted his thing. If Sreekanta Aradhya's mail bounces, you can contact BCIC through me.
If no other questions, Chandramouli sir, I had a video of our product. I did not want to do a product sale. That's why.
You had a video. Yeah, you wanted to show a video. Please go ahead.
I wanted to show that, but it will become more of a product play, so I did not want to show it. But then it also has got different aspects. So I just want to, if it's okay, I will. It's on YouTube.
No, you must show it. You must show it because while it may be your product, you are promoting the concept rather than the product. Go ahead, sir. And 12:30, we'll close this call. Thank you. I will log out. I will.
Just let me know if you are seeing this.
Yeah, I can see that. But you have to put sound, sir.
Sound is coming?
Yeah, slowly coming. Can you increase it?
This is a question that most of the world is struggling with now.
Sound is good.
At Bosch, we have not just become carbon neutral since 2020, but have also helped organizations across the world achieve their sustainability goals through the power of technology. The right technology accelerates sustainability successes, and Bosch has enabled businesses achieve their sustainability goals. And how did we enable this? Meet our fully flexible sustainability platform, Bosch 𝙊𝙀𝙀𝙀. The Bosch 𝙊𝙀𝙀𝙀 platform provides a range of digital solutions that enable energy and utilities management, remote condition monitoring, and CO2 emissions tracking.
can take a photo.
The Bosch Deep Sights creates intelligent energy and utilities management in 5 critical steps. The framework is designed to enable advanced analytics deeper and deeper into the total utilities infrastructure at your manufacturing plants. The Bosch Deep Sights wraps up your energy and utilities consumption network into 4 layers. The cognitive layer uses advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning-based analytics to provide advanced intelligent decision-making tools. The consume layer provides real-time monitoring and reporting of your entire operations with intuitive MIS dashboards. The collect layer employs edge functions such as condition monitoring and alerting with IIoT gateway firmware to combine all the energy and utilities into a single platform. The connect layer uses our intelligent SenseNet Plus to connect your plant's assets with 30+ industrial sensors, smart energy meters and top-of-range data communication protocols. The 4 layers combine to form a detailed analytics dashboard that will help monitor, manage and optimize the operations with a fully customizable energy and utility analytics suite. The Bosch Deep Sights is therefore your perfect digital partner to help in digitalizing legacy machines, establish data and KPI transparency, create library of asset models and optimize costs and carbon footprint. The Bosch Deep Sights is a multi-utility management tool covering intelligent multi-utility management, energy management and optimization, water management, air, oil and gas management, ESG compliances for utilities, and solar plant operations. And why Bosch? Because we have been one of the principal founders of creating responsible industrial organizations in the world. We believe that sustainability is the only path to profitability.
Great. That is a wonderful video. And we have many audience still listening to us. And Rupa can feel free to take her photographs. If all audience can come on the audio video, I'm also happy. But I think they have been locked for some reason. I don't know. So at the end of the session, I thank Sreekanta for a very quick acceptance of this program. Within 2 weeks, he came on the thing and made a wonderful 40-minute presentation with a 30-minute Q&A, where even our Senior Vice President and ex officio President is watching us, Dr. Devarajan, the Senior Vice President, again for TVS Motor. Wherever he goes, he is Senior Vice President. And Sreekant, with your automation pillar and your digitalization pillar, you have really contributed a lot to the Bangalore Chamber and the industries. This video will be circulated with your permission. Sure. And it will go into the BCIC YouTube. There is something called BCIC YouTube. Nowadays, BCIC is very active on social media, so it will go across. And the 32 or whatever registered participant list we will share with you.
Thank you.
So that you can use in whichever way. We have no problem with that. There are 72 people registered as of yesterday, which is a good, but people are busy. Gange Gowda has opened up his video. So that I think videos can be opened. But we have come to the end of the session. Sreekant, we would, as Devarajan has said, we want a continued support of Bosch and its various departments and various elements of Bosch in the form of skill building, in the form of miniature laboratory making, in the form of standard modules, affordable modules for MSMEs, etc. And all this, we will take it forward and I will discuss with you offline on these topics. Thank you, sir. Devarajan, sir, any closing remarks from the President?
No, I think it's outstanding. Really very useful discussion, interaction. And Bosch is a very important member of BCIC also. I think we'll spread this information forward. We request Sreekanta to attend, come to our meetings also, You'll
Sure.
meet a lot of people sharing the information. And anyway, TVS Motor is working very closely with Bosch. We work with Bosch, with Toyota, with a lot of, I think, sharing information. And like what Chandramouli did say, that we will try to take it to the affordable small scale industries through communication among the different techniques used. Many of our companies are taking lot of data today and don't know what to do with the data. So probably that area where you can support us and make into beneficial analysis of the data which has been collected. Sustainability is always a continuous journey, and you have put very nicely. You have said sustainability towards profitability. I think outstanding, extremely good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chandramouli, for
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that last note which Devarajan sir made is very, very important. How do we bring in the affordability to the MSMEs? And cyber security, when you use cloud, has been a concern of smaller companies. You have to remove that concern in your promotional literature. That cyber security is not at all a concern, even if it is cloud. All those things you have to consider, because people think cloud means, "Arey, hamara bas." Even our bank account, is being taken up by Bosch or somebody. So I think we have come to the end of the session. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best, Mr. Sreekanta. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chandramouli sir and Devarajan sir. I think
Thank
thanks
you very
for
much.
giving
Close
us
the
an
session.
opportunity
Thank
for
you.
presenting to such an august audience. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry.
We'll support you in all your ventures, whatever you mentioned.
Thank you, sir. In
Yeah.
fact, the first step is, if I have not already invited you, we have a 4.0 WhatsApp group, and you will see my message in that, and you can join that. Thank you, Mr. Sreekant.
Please,
Sure.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Rupa. You can close this platform.